Hello. Sorry about that. Gotta get some things ready. Make sure the stream is running correctly. And all of that sheesh. Note cam. Because my phone is dead. Alright. We're gonna play Our Life Now and Forever again. So on step 1. If you don't know, Our Life, the series of Our Life is very long. It takes days to finish. It does. It takes a long time. But anyway. Yeah, okay, let's read. You know, Snow, your sorcery amazes me. You and him broke into laughter together. If you really were a sorcerer, you do a lot more than make Chu lose his papers. But it was still a good joke. Chu swept his left palm towards you, kind of like someone might ask for a dance in a movie. He did fancy moves like that a lot, but you liked it. Chu was pretty and cool, even when he just wanted his stuff. Placed his page right there, like the paper was giving him a low 5. Chu crossed his right arm over to reach the left pocket of his pants. Out came his well-worn notebook with the pages that barely stuck inside. He flipped it open with his thumb and positioned the missing paper squarely on the top of the rest of the set. Make sure that looks good. The audio levels look good. Okay. He ran his now empty fingers over the tattered sides of the book, pressing the corners and edges that had been sticking out mostly back into straight lines. Then Chu flicked his wrist to close the notebook, dropping it back into his pocket, and patted the sides of his pants fondly. That's it. You did it. The page made it home. Chu didn't have anything else to say then. You could tell he wasn't looking at you anymore. His gaze was on the move. He'd already seen everything there was to see in class that looked like all the other classes. At least you thought so. But he did find something that needed his attention, in his mind anyway. Oh, she hasn't left either. Be right here. I've got to do something, too. I've got something to do. After cupping his hands around his mouth, Q called out past you all the way to the other side of the room. Hey, Tamarak! Get over here, you gotta see this! What is it? What is it? Press space. Space. You have to look. Tarmac bounded across the room faster than an Olympic athlete. Probably. It would be the close, at least because she's really speedy. She did a skippy leap for the last foot before reaching you and Chu, and tossed her arms straight up as she stuck the landing. The fringe strands of her pink scarf, which had been secured wrapped around her neck, God, I can't speak, which she had securely wrapped around her neck again, had flown up and almost tickled your nose. I'm here. Good, check it out. Chu waved urgently for her to come closer with one hand and reached into his right pocket with the other. That wasn't the side he kept the notebook in. He was going for something else. The Toon leaned in, having a one-on-one huddle. You weren't part of it, but you could tell what he had by the little glimpse you could catch over his hunched shoulders and the sound of it. It rustled and crinkled, not in a sharp way like leaves, but in a soft, squishy way. Chu holded up a wrapped-up bag, probably from whatever grocery store Golden Grove had. He kept the bag tightly closed, gripping two sides of the top, keeping his fists pressed together. Then he suspiciously looked side to side. No one else would be allowed to see the hidden treasures inside. Tamarack did it too after him, either double-checked or to not be left out, or maybe because she didn't want to miss what he might be spotting. Alright, this is it. Suspense pulled in your two neighbors. Goodness, is that loud? I don't know. Let's just turn it down a little bit. Alright. Tamarack bit the nail of her thumb and totally stopped breathing. There's nothing in the world for them right then except the bag and whatever it held. And finally, before Tamarack could fall over from no air, Chew parted his hands and stretched open his unusual gift wrapping. Mouth open, eyes wide, Tamarack gacked down into the bag. You figured she'd go wow or something, but she scanned whatever it was up and down with the same eager expression. It's possible she was blown away. It was possible she was so blown away, her face had stuck like that. That turned out not to be true, because she eventually saw enough for a reaction to slowly begin rumbling inside. First, it was with the edges of her lips wobbling, then her eyelashes trembling, and finally, brows pinching fiercely. Tamarack snapped her head up and glared into Chew's awaiting smirk. What? That's trash. What was it? Chew, what did you show Tamarack? This better not be something bad. A tiny bubble of a snicker popped up from Chew's mouth, and there was an even louder one. Laughs kept bursting bigger and bigger until he was shaking so bad that whatever was in the bag almost bounced. It's trash. What? Yeah, it is, I said so. Being heard over Chew's giggling fit could have been a problem, but Tamarack was entirely okay with shouting. Mrs. Murray looked over at the commotion from the fancy teacher's chair. She still had that folder with the roll call paper and class schedule open. Maybe there was no rules once class was out, or maybe this kind of thing was normal with students, because she didn't tell any of you to quiet down. She just went back to her job stuff. By the time you focused on your neighbors again, Chew had started to calm down. Chew shook his head and wiped a tear from the corner of his eye. Then, through heavy breaths, he gave a wisecracking answer. I didn't say this would be something you'd want to have, just that you should see it. Why would I want to see your trash? She asked him crossly, while her crossing her arms to go with it. Chew grabbed the handles into one hand and swung that arm up near his chest so that the bag hung over his shoulder. The pose would have fit best for someone modeling a purse 5 times more expensive than any your mommy owned. And she had really nice ones for work, not a plastic bag full of garbage. I have reasons. I've got my reasons. What are they? The question was cautious. Wary of any other trick Chew might pull, but the curiosity was clear in her voice. Being presented a bag of garbage was okay as long as it had some kind of secret. Well, he paused to rearrange his face into something more serious and nodded thoughtfully. Even though me losing that paper was an unexplainable mystery, I was thinking about how you just got to this town and are having to pick up after people to keep the forest clean. That's not fair. Still, speaking as a wise mentor, Chu used his other hand to gesture tellingly at the windows, so I decided to go back outside yesterday and check the forest for litter. This is all the stuff I got so far. Ah, he really did have his reasons. It was exactly like he'd done with you in the note. Do you imagine what Tamrak had probably thought or felt from what happened yesterday? And when it seemed like it could be sad, he did something about it. Sorry. Tamrak sucked in a gasp of air and let out a squeal. Really? Clean the woods? I did. All of this went from being on the ground into my trash bag. Oh, that's so nice. She did wow about it after all. She was also kicking her feet one after the other in a happy little dance. Her bag jostled around with her moves like a partner. It was your good idea first. It could have been more humble, but he cocked his chin and grinned, so pleased with himself that it wasn't really anymore. Tamrak was too giddy to care or notice. Thanks, Chu. Doesn't everyone pick up trash when they see it? That was helpful and funny and helpful. Good job. It's still rude to do that. You were glad he treated her well, but you wanted to impress Tamrak too. Chu was nice to you, boss, so to everybody all the time. Made you feel a little bad. Why did you act like it was a huge deal if you knew it was trash? I can pick up trash too, you said to Tamrak. Okay, I smiled at him. Funny and helpful. Okay, you're welcome. That little trio of you, Tamrak, and Chu stayed together, reunited over by the desks. Well, the little room became more and more empty of anybody else. After a while, besides you three, there was only the teacher left in class. It was enough and quiet enough. You could hear the doorknob click and twist. That was all that happened, though. You figured someone would come in. You checked behind you, the door was open a crack, and a person peeked through. From a teeny bit, you could see the person was a kid, or maybe a short grown-up. They were only half as tall as the door they were hiding behind. It definitely wasn't your mommy coming to get you. Mrs. Murray was flipping through a million pages, but she called out from the desk. It's okay, you can come in, class is over. Then the door got shoved all the way and bumped into the wall. After trying not to get noticed, being called out that way made it, whoever it was, confident. Hello? Who's this kid? Are they going to be important for the story? I don't know. The person walked right in without looking at what they were seeing. It wasn't the way you or Tamrak came into class. It was the way Chu had, the way someone who had been there before had. Or maybe this is gonna be like Baxter. Who's the other characters? Was that one guy named Derek? What is that one guy? I forgot his name. The other guy. Was that guy dateable? I don't know. I wonder if it's gonna be something like that. Who knows? I should just shut up and like play the game to see who this character will be in the future. Anyway. The person walked right in without looking at what they were seeing. It wasn't the way you or Tamrak came into class. It was the way Chu did. The way someone who had been there before had. But this wasn't their classroom. None of the students you saw the whole day were this person. In a new school, in a whole new town, you would have been more amazed it was somebody you didn't know. Even though that was true, you almost thought you had met the stranger. The kid's soft brown eyes itched at your brain. You were sure you'd seen those exact same eyes somewhere else. It was especially hard to figure out when their gaze wasn't aimed at you. It had gone to the front where the teacher was. Bless me.
You
Oh, thank you.
tell anyone about this.
Yep.
I will find out where you live.
All right.
Thank you, Olivia Marlin, for the follow on
And I will
Twitch.
burn your
I hope you
house
enjoy
down.
the stream. It was especially hard to figure. Alright, I already read that. Oh, you remembered. Seeing the new kid and Mrs. Murray made you think of the matching car games you had to play in school when you were little. You just won by flipping over 4 identical chestnuts. The person with eyes like Mrs. Murray ran to her past the counting carpet and behind the desk. They threw their arms around her legs in a hug, squeezing her knees together. Or maybe it's their child, maybe? Maybe it's the teacher's child. Your teacher gently brushed those sunbeam strands until the kid tilted their head back to smile up at Mrs. Murray with a toothy grin. Hi! Hello, Sir 7th grade. Did you have a good first day? Darren! Sir 7th grade, or Darren, or both, gasped and let go before smiling even wider. Joe! He darted out from the desk just like that. Mrs. Murray watched him go, rubbing at the spots on her pants that got squished. She was for sure his mom, not only because they hugged or because of their eyes. Mrs. Murray wouldn't have let a normal student get away with not answering her questions. And you were right. My mom is your teacher? Darren's voice came out bright and loud and with a big laugh. Though the sound was kind of crackling too, he had so much to express to the world. Words could barely keep it all together. Chu's own sparkling giggles joined in. He opened his arms all the way out, not holding anything back. I know! When Darren crossed the room, he stuck his own hand straight up, palm up. Chu flipped his arm down and over to land a low, high smack. It was a powerful hit, but they were both protected by gloves. Chu shrugged again, not feeling the sting. This year is gonna be tough. Boys, inside voices please. And personally, I say my lessons are fair. Right, yeah, sorry Mrs. Murray. Sorry, Mom. Darren lifted his fuzzy black muffs off his head using hands covered in black fuzzy gloves. He was in this classroom to stay, and he'd be able to hear quieter words better without that too. For the first time, Darren noticed that there were two more people in the room. That made his smile flatten. You'd expected you would see new kids today. Darren didn't think about that. He tried to figure out what to do or think or feel now that it had happened. Tamara skipped saying who she was so she could jump right into Darren's face on her tiptoes. As far as kids went, Darren was as tall as Tamrak was short. Mom? She said she was your mom? The teacher is her mom? It didn't matter that Chu talked about Mrs. Murray having kids before you got there. or that a lot happened to show that Darren was definitely her son. Having the kid of a teacher in front of her was too unbelievable for Tamarack, and that made Darren decide what to think about this meeting. He didn't like that at all. His face soured, and he backed away from Tamarack without thinking. Like a giant fluffy bumblebee was coming to get him. Tamarack didn't let him get that far, though. Tamarack thinks it's weird that teachers have kids. Yeah, Tamarack, she's his mom. Tamarack, that's not a nice thing to say. I thought it was funny to watch. You were lazy. That didn't feel good. Hey, leave him alone. Darren seemed kind of shy. She was just asking a question. Darren had to be shy. Tamarack should first. You don't get why he had a problem. Tamarack was just talking. Yeah, he's just chatting with you. But just be like, Tamarack thinks it's weird. Tamarack that's just. I'm always like, I'm thinking about like what I would do as a child. Tamarack thinks it's weird. Tamarack thinks you're weird. Think, no, I don't. Tamarack thinks you're weird. No, I don't. Tamarack. Okay. Alright. Darren didn't stop staring at her for a single second. He was too afraid of what she might do next to look away. But he did this thing his mom did by talking to someone, even though his eyes were focused on different stuff. It's not weird. Don't follow Darren like that. One has, maybe that's not the right choice. Or, you know, good choice. Maybe that'll make things weird. I think, yeah, Tamarack, she's his mom. Wow. Don't follow Darren like that. She was totally serious with the idea. It wasn't rude. It wasn't a rule. It was a law. Tamarack listened to it better than if it came out from an actual teacher. Oh. Tamarack deflated to stand like normal again and stopped scurrying towards Darren. She didn't stop staring at her. He didn't stop staring at her. Darren was too afraid of what she might do next to look away. The whole thing made Chu sigh. It was an accident, though, because he sucked in another breath super fast after. He smiled again like it never happened. Oh, hey. Everyone's got to meet each other for real now. We do? Yeah, we do. He used his own tiptoes and smoothly twirled around to shift from Tamarack's side to Darren's. This is Mr. Darren Murray. Chu hooked an arm around Darren's stiff shoulders. The warm embrace got Darren all soft. He mellowed over Chu and their heads bumped together. The two were as close as could be. He's my friend and 2 years older than us. Okay, he's like 12. Okay. Alright, you said 12. Whatever. I can't read. I can't comprehend text. I can read, but I can't comprehend text well. Chu proudly put a peace sign that probably meant two. Remember that road right out from our cul-de-sac? Darren lives there. His house is the yellow one from the dark brown fence. We're almost neighbors. That's how we know each other. Yeah, the big hill, I know that. You passed a lot of homes on your way to school. You guys people had to live in them, but you always figured you would meet a person before seeing where they lived. It was kind of weird thinking you'd gone by his place before you even knew who Mr. Darren Murray was. Chu tilted his face so he was nose to nose with the boy down the street. That's why I've got to tell you. These are my new neighbors. But both of them? Thought only one kid was coming. The poor boy was more confused than ever. Tamara could shock people even when she didn't try to. Chu came to the rescue. His arm slid off Darren's shoulder to pat him smoothly on the back instead. Is the music okay? Is the music okay? I hope so! It's probably good, right? Both of them. Chu used his other hand to nudge a finger towards the girl of many surprises. This one is Mrs. Tamrak Bonnet. Granny is her actual grandma. She lives in the gray house now. It was easy for Chu to explain what happened now. If Darren had been there yesterday, he could have seen Chu's flurry when he found out Tamrak was there. Ooh. Sorry, I'm gonna blow my nose. Okay. Is what you had to do to sound smart. Is that what you had to do to sound smart? Act like you knew something to people who couldn't tell the difference? Maybe it was a Chu thing. It did work for him. Darren listened to his friend's wisdom, amazed. And that, like a tiny showman in front of an audience with one person in it, Chu uncurled his fingers and held his open palm out towards you. Is Snow Parker. He's a boy. Also, if you're wondering why I have Parker as my last name, I'm not telling you my last name. You'll never know my last name. I thought I live. He is the one who moved into that empty middle house with his mom. We all met yesterday. In the real world, Darren had to look to see Chu. It was a plain fact. Had to look down on every kid in your grade. But in the shine of his dipped eyes, you could be tricked into thinking Darren was looking up at Chu. That's how much the older boy admired the younger one. The light went away when Darren glanced over the two people Chu had introduced. All that there was uncomfortable skepticism. I think you're cute. You hid from the strange boy behind Tamarack. You shuffled to Chu's opposite side from Darren, hiding from him. You stared at the two boys. You gave a wave. Nice to meet you. So I'm gonna fucking do this because I think that's funny. You thought it was nice to say that, but Darren squinched his face and turned away as if you called him a dumb scarecrow. No. Fuck. No, I don't want to do that. I accidentally right-clicked. Chu chuckled at that, playfully shoving his pal in the chest. Tamrak flapped a hand fast in a wave. It'd be like the buzzing wing of a bee. She kept being like that around Darren, but you didn't think it was on purpose. Hi, Darren. His face squished. The awkward way Darren was with her still didn't get Tamarack to back off or even slow down. She had thoughts that she needed to be said. It's both wearing orange sweaters. Tamarack stopped her fluttering by clasping her hands together over this important revelation. Darren curled his fingers too, gripping it tight around the earmuffs he was holding. She hadn't said it teasingly, not even a silly kind of teasing Chu did, but he was bothered by it for some reason. Yeah, we both like orange. It's a short answer, and a very serious one. The whole time, Darren hadn't said one word in response to Tamrak until now. Not when she asked about his mom or said hi. Talking about same colored clothes, though, couldn't be ignored. Uh-huh. Orange is good. One of the top colors. Do I think that? I don't know why I would rank orange, where I would rank orange. I know number 1, purple. Purple. Number 2, red. Gotta be red. 3, green. I think green. 4. 4, I do not know. Would I put orange in 4? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe there's better colors out there? No, it's not better than blue. Wait, it is better than blue, but is it better than yellow? I don't know. Those both are very same to me, I guess. I don't know. But do you know what my favorite color is? How would I know that? Cause I think it's pretty obvious. The second time he gestured over at you, but not just any part of you, Chew pointed towards your eyes. It's golden. That's the best color there is. It was cool to learn Chew's favorite color. Why would he say it like that? It was awful. He didn't care. You didn't care that much and weren't paying a lot of attention. You would have been happier to be born with gold eyes. Gold was his favorite color? That was exactly like Chew. Good thing you said so. Knowing your friend's favorite color was important. Could you call yourself a friend if you didn't know the answer to what's their favorite color? Ooh. My favorite color are purple, pink, red, yellow, orange. That's a lot of favorites. It's probably about half the colors there are, but alright. Wait. And also, every color Snow likes is my favorite too. What was this? Tom Rock had good opinions on colors. I was going too far. Your favorites were yours. Sharing favorites was an amazing idea. Tom Rock was so sweet. She'd appreciate you no matter what. Of course, Tom Rock wouldn't be able to pick one favorite. I'll do that. Too many things excited her for that. Compared to Tom Rock's shouting, Darren responded with a peep. He still didn't want to talk to her, but misunderstandings about color rankings couldn't be made either. Red is my favorite. Orange still is cool. At that point, everyone talked about colors they liked except for you. I got a favorite color too. Yeah? What is it? Purple. Yeah, me too. Purple. You and him were talking, but he turned and stared directly at Tamrak. Her big purple sweater became a lot more noticeable to Chew all of a sudden. Alright. Chew took his trusty notebook out of his pocket to remember. A pencil came with it. He flicked the... Oh yeah, you can see that. So I said, like, I was talking about how my favorite color was purple. And look at this. This notification thing. This thing. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. I shouldn't say what my favorite color is. Oh yeah, even the chat box is purple. This. I forgot about that. That is purple too. Alright. Pencil came with it. He flicked the pages open and began to scribble right there in the middle of the room during a conversation with people. Why are you doing that? School is over. Write down your favorite colors. I want to remember that. The question was answered, and it completely confused her. It made sense to you, she didn't get it. Tamrak didn't write stuff down, even when class was happening. Okay. A yelp cut her off. A yelp cut off her own planned reaction, confused by normal things and confusing to normal people. That was Tamarack. You're using your other hand? Left one? Yeah, that's my good hand. Wow. Tamarack ran out of words to blurt, and Darren didn't know what to do on his own. Didn't want to do anything on his own, and not with you either. Had to beat you. So the three of you waited there as the scritchy, scratchy sound of Chew's writing went on. The more letters Chew added to his notebook, the more his friend shifted uncomfortably. Hey, Autumn, you're coming to my house, right? Yeah, I am. That was the third and quick and direct answer Chew gave while busy with his task, but it had a big impact on Darren. He smiled relieved. The promise made up for all this stuff Darren hadn't enjoyed since he walked in the classroom, and had two people become a little part of his life. It's like, oh, hanging out together? Okay, I hope you have a great time. Like, obviously I'm not gonna be jealous. Making a long dash across the paper, probably to underline something, Chew finished off his note to himself and his reply to Darren. Now that Snow and Tamarack are here, I'm gonna make sure they get to the neighborhood, but I can do that and go to your house. Yeah, I hope you do good. The worn brown book and pencil were tucked in a Chew's pocket. He didn't watch what he was doing. You did, and this time no papers fell out. It was good to see him not have any problems. You were a bit worried it might happen again. It's not gonna be me and Darren, you know. One more's coming too. We've got plans. It'd been working out for weeks that we get together after the first day of school. You had people to see the afternoon, kids other than you. I was alright because you were sure there'd be time for you and Chew to hang out later. It wasn't completely gonna forget about you. Thinking about it that way, Darren was sort of like you. He was friends with Chew too and didn't want changes to change that. There's room for all of ya. And cause that, Darren, can you go get that guy? He's gonna be standing around outside not knowing where to go. You can bring him right into the room. Darren sunk his neck deeper into the tall collar that surrounded it, trying not to be called out in class after it was already too late. I don't wanna. His voice had gone even more raspy when he spoke then. Every bit of Darren protested the idea. Oh, come on! You're the fastest out of everybody. Chew, on the other hand, was bold and brave. He sincerely sung Darren's praises to encourage his friend, though more quietly, added a verse of his own success. With running anyway, on bikes I'm the best. Did you know I got a mountain bike? It has silver, paint splatters, and the tires have these big treads. It's so fast, you'd be amazed. But besides, we can't go. Tamarack and Snow are here. Do you want to stay with them by yourself? I get them? Darren's eyes closed. He grimaced. If he was looking, he wouldn't have been able to stop himself from glancing at Tamarack. You could tell since that's where his not seeing face turned, and he didn't want to do that either. If he couldn't even handle seeing her too closely, staying alone with Tamarack didn't seem achievable for Darren. Chew knew it. I'll go. I'll go. He's like, oh god, I don't want to be around Tamarack. I'm gonna die if I even do that. I want a Pepsi. I'll be right back. 55. Soda time. Alright. I'll be right back. Be right back. Hello. We're gonna continue. Anyway. Alright, I'll go. Place the earmuffs back on his head, as if he was donning armor before a battle. Resigned, but absolute. Go! See ya. Yeah, bye. Bye. As Darren sprinted through the door, you doubted he'd be following the no running in the hall rule. Mrs. Murray was reading over her teacher's stuff, so she didn't put a stop to it. But Darren should have followed them, even if no one was watching. Tarmac's focus was set on the action. When that was over and even Darren's bright white vest couldn't be seen, she snapped her gaze towards Chu. She was eager, ready to learn more about the boys whose name hadn't even been said yet. In school, in friends, and everything, Tamarak wanted answers. It's like, if you didn't have to wait for your mama to get you, you would have left. You were annoyed. Why would you? When would you be done having to meet people? You were nervous. When would you be done having to meet more people? You weren't that interested. Chu began to tell you about his friend, even though no one asked him about anything about him. Tamak's face has been enough to get Chu going on it. This kid you're gonna meet isn't like other kids. He's mature. Mature rolled off Chu's tongue slowly, importantly, and with a fake accent. Mature. You didn't know what kind, but when you thought a little longer, Chu much more quickly added some more details. And not mature, actually. About some stuff, not everybody likes them, but I do, and you might too. Oh, guess what? He doesn't go to our school or Darren's school. He actually goes to a different one that costs money, because it's for rich people. Those are actually real. You figured out what accent Chu's been doing, a wealthy person's accent. Ew. Mature. I can't do it. I can't do like I can't. One thing that sucks about my voice acting is I can't do a voice of him pretending to do like a rich person's accent. Like a character acting. Like me acting as a character acting as someone else. Mature. Can't do it. He's mature. I can't do it. Cannot do it. Mature. I'm trying to do like a real football mustache impression, but as true, you know. I hope you know. I can't even do Wilford's voice. Whatever. You figured out what accent. I already read that. Or did I? You figured out what accent Chu had been doing. A wealthy person's accent, like one of those movies with millionaires. What? Goes to a private school. No, I wouldn't think that's cool. Unfair. No, I'd be like, all right. He's coming. How is he coming here? It could have gone to Darren's house. Yeah. What's the list of food for? On that note I gave back to you. I don't know if I should have read it. Right then, wasn't really the best moment to ask something like that, but with all the people Chu had seen, I didn't know when you had the chance to ask. It would have been even stranger to ask about it days or weeks or years after you saw it. And that still meant you had to deal with Chu raising an eyebrow accusingly, except it wasn't the timing that made him question you. You read that? And when I picked it up, well, okay. It's just like, what? Why would you read that of all things? Chu had folded his arms for a second to state his decision, then his hands were flinging around as normal when he talked. My mom is really funny, you gotta meet her. Whenever she notices food or stuff gone, or there's not a lot left, she'll say something about it. And she'll be all, what? Only 3 eggs? What if we get more? Or, what? I can't do like a goddamn mom voice in his voice. Like, what? Only 3 eggs? What if we get more? Or, when it all... No, I'm not gonna fucking try. I'm not gonna try. She'll be all, what? Only 3 eggs? We'll have to get more. Or, when did we use all the dish soap? Yeah. Chu lifted his shoulders and hands. At a loss about that, he laughed about it though. And she says it to nobody. I hear her anyway. Then I write it down in case she forgets. But here's what's really crazy. She almost never does. My mom is good at being a mom. Wow, she's a good mom. Tomrock cheered at the end of Chu's nice story, and it sucked all the life at him. Chu's eyes went wide while his arms dropped like 2 heavy sticks he couldn't hold, whatever. You hadn't known Chu for long, but you knew he had his own ways, standards to live by that he thought others should follow too, and the look on his face made you think he just broke them. Yeah, I'm sorry. For what? Tarok's usual straightforward tone felt way louder, almost like a smack, compared to how small and hesitant Chu's voice had become for being dumb. What? He'd answered about the note because he was thinking of you. And he talked so highly of his mom because he hadn't thought about how someone else listening might feel about that. Chu, you're not dumb. You're too smart. That's why you feel bad. I don't know what you're talking about at all, but you figured it out. A short, cracked hiccup of a laugh came out before Chu realized it. He was too stunned to notice himself. The conclusion she came to hadn't made a lot of sense, but it did make Chu feel better. Thanks, Tomrock. You're welcome. Neither Chu or Tomrock were sure what to say next. You were the same. The 3 of you glanced from one face to the other. Expressions flitted between encouraging smiles and curious peering. Until then, the door had flung open. Darren hadn't stopped to check if it was okay that time. He had a job to do. And it had been a job well done. Darren wasn't alone. Alright. Why do you look familiar? You look like Baxter. That's what you look like. You look like Baxter. From, what if this is Baxter? Wait, what if this is the same place of our life now, for you? Beginnings and always. Was it the same place? No, it's not. This sets place in Oregon of the United States. In hold a sec. forgot what was the town called? Sunset Bird. That's what it was. This takes place in Southern California of the United States. Okay. What if this is Baxter somehow? That'd be funny. Their entrance was a funny scene. Behind Darren's striking colors and Tim's steps was a new boy. The stranger came along unconcerned, dressed in muted tones. His hair color almost could have been called black, though dark gray was probably more right. He had black pants that didn't match perfectly with the shade of his head. Oh, God. But there was something about him that made a strong impression. Tamrak, Chu, and Darren, too, had lots of energy that radiated out all around them. This boy didn't have spirits in his hands, or legs, or bodies. His fire was concentrated on his dark brown eyes. Whatever he looked at came against the total force of his being. It made him unignorable. And that part of him was noticeable, that it took you a minute to see his birthmark on his neck, and that smile was actually a smirk. From a full class to only 3 students left to 4 people. And now you were up to a group of 5. People kept going and coming that afternoon, and you didn't know what to think. All your thinking was cut off from a shout from Chu. Along with that, he punched a fist in the air to welcome his returning champion and found prince. Yeah, you made it! Darren and the boy he brought had given the impression of opposites when they first came in. I can't speak. Whatever they had in common became clear when they smiled in the very same way at the reunion. They both liked the other one of them, and they both liked Chu. That's all that mattered. Who's the boy's name? Is it Baxter? Yeah, this is Baxter. We're like, guess my name. Like, this kid's like, guess my name. And it's like, oh, Baxter. And we're like, how the fuck do you know? The two went straight to Chu's sides. Darren on his left and the other on his right. The formation of the trio was perfectly smooth. All of them were already aware of where they stood in the group. So this is my friend, he's cool, as long as you tell him when he's being dumb. The boy had been the most collected person you'd seen in town besides your teacher, and she just called him dumb as soon as he got there. That was kind of incredible. But you didn't mean it in a mean way, and the new arrival hadn't even blinked when Chu said it. They were friends, and the insult expressed how much affection as the hug Chu and Darren shared earlier. Fuck! I fucking knew it! You fucking look similar, bitch! Fuck you! Did I hate Baxter? Did I find him annoying? I've probably found him annoying. I don't remember. Maybe we should play that again. Our life. I think I tried to on the stream, but I just didn't care for it. But fuck you! I knew it was you, you motherfucker! You can hide from me in any fucking world. In any fucking timeline in life. Place. I'll find you. I'll find you, you motherfucker! Alright. Fuck you. Fuck you. Alright. When did I find Baxter? When did I find Baxter in the stream? I don't remember. God. Oh. Like, I knew it was Baxter. He has that fucking look. He has that fucking look. Oh, he has that fucking look. Huh. I didn't expect to ever see him. Or any of the people that we've seen before. Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Baxter. Baxter greeted you and Tamara casually. It was effortless for him to say polite words, though they didn't come with a lot of meaning behind them. Darren was 12, and he was tall and taller than all of his friends. But you could have believed he wasn't that old until Chu said so. Nobody needed to tell you Baxter was older than you. No one had told you, but you still knew. More than any kid, Baxter reminded you of teenagers. One who thought they were smarter than not only anyone younger, but adults too. They had that kind of unquestionable confidence. The fuck is that noise? Alright, whatever. Even the way he stood looked more grown up than everybody else. That's right! Chu had put on his snooty voice again and did oh, that's right. Whatever, I can't act as him doing like a weird impression. That's right. That's right. Whatever. That's probably what he would do. I don't know. Chu put on his snooty voice again and did a courtesy to show his mock respect to whoever the boy was that he was about to introduce. This is Baxter Ward, the oldest out of all of us. Oh my goodness. It's so like weird to see him again and to know that he will probably leave. At one point he'll probably leave and go. And we won't see him probably again. I don't remember. Did he? I think Baxter like did come and then go. He left and did his own thing and then he came back, right? I don't remember. I don't remember a lot, but I think that was a similar thing that happened. Was that in step 2 or step 3? I think that was it, like in step 2 and he came back in step 3, right? I don't remember. I barely remember Our Life because in always I should play it. No, I'm gonna do that. You knew, meanwhile, Chu had dropped the accent because he wasn't talking about Baxter anymore. And this is Snow Parker and Mrs. Tamara. Have I said Mrs. this whole fucking time? I bet the people who are like, who have English majors like, they're not married because that'd be fucking weird. They're a 10-year-old. I'm like, I don't know, I'm dumb. Shut up. Miss Tamarak Bonnet. Hi, what's your favorite color? Baxter's really handsome. Let's just flirt with every fucking person we see. Yeah, let's just do that. Other kids were cute, but he was older and refined. That made Baxum. I'm gonna let a train hit me. Okay, I'll be right back. Nope. Baxter, handsome instead. Baxum. No, I'm just gonna call him Baxum. His name's Baxum now. Screw you developers. Screw you GB Patch. His name is not Baxter. His name is Baxum. That's his name now. That's his name. Baxter's a stupid name. Baxum is better. And I will stand by that till the day I die. Please don't murder me. Alright. He looked even better when he grinned, which is how you were think thanked for your compliment. That's the first thing you're gonna say. That's the first thing you're gonna say to me. You and me should get along. Hi. Tarmac's normal bubbliness popped right after she said hello. Are you actually rich? That's the thing you're gonna say to him. All right, sure. She said it doubtfully, with her hands on her hips and her face tilted intently. And it added more to her wondering than what she actually said. What would a rich person be doing there? Shouldn't he be doing something else? Cause like you and her weren't doing. You try to imagine what that other thing might be. Maybe sitting at the head of the table longer than this whole room, or dancing in a shining ballroom wider than your house. Darren's face twisted in the center and tightened around the edges. He wanted to laugh and stopped himself from doing just that. Yes. Yeah, I just want to make... Sometimes I forget what I've read most of the some of the time. Not all of the time. I think like 10%. Yes. Baxter said he was a rich kid as plainly as if he just asked if it was Monday or if he had a hat on his head. He can prove it too. Baxter lives in a huge mansion high on the mountain. He does? He does. Suddenly the table in the ballroom of your fancy felt a little more real. Having a huge mansion come up without him needing to say so curves. Baxter smiled. Without him needing to say so curved, Baxter smile. What the fuck? Having the huge mansion come up without him needing to say so curved, Baxter smile more than... Alright, what? What the fuck did I just read? Am I having a stroke? I think I'm having a stroke. Am I having a stroke? Having the huge mansion come up without him needing to say so curved. Baxter smile more than... What the I'm sorry, what? 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 Does that make any sense? Am I reading that wrong? Having a human... That does not make any sense. What the hell? That does not make any sense. What the hell did I just read? What the hell did I just read? Am I having a stroke? God, someone help me. Call the ambulance. I'm having a stroke. I'm smelling burnt toast. Alright, no, I'm not. Don't actually do that. Oh shit. Sorry about that. I think I'm having a stroke, cause what the am I reading that wrong? How does that make any sense? Let me just move on. I'm not gonna talk about that anymore. He doesn't have to brag. His house spoke for itself. Or rather, the house got Chew to speak for it. And that was the best brag of them all. If I like the two of you, maybe you'll get to visit. If I like you. Who knows? Baxter. Did I hate him? I feel like I did. I don't remember. It's been like 5 years. Probably 5 or 4 years since I've played Our Life Begins and Always. But, yeah, I feel like, I feel like I hated him, maybe. Or maybe I just found him annoying. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't care if I go to your mansion or not, probably. I don't think I liked you. I think I was not even interested in him at all when a lot of people were. I don't know, probably. Chu's words had shot up in a pitch and rang with humor. He threw his hands out in disbelief and had to be careful not to hit one of the multiple people hanging around him. Baxter, you show it to anybody who'll come by. Alright. Chu knocked Baxter's arm with an elbow, but that was on purpose. A friendly nudge to go along with the rest of his lighthearted jabbing. His smile beaming at gesture, his eyes dancing over towards you and Tamarack. Chu declared in a stuffiest voice, a reply that was, to Chu, a more accurate picture. Please come by my big cool house.
Why would I have it if nobody was gonna see it and think it's so big and cool? That's him.
Chu needed a pause to say himself before finishing what he was talking about. But it is a really cool house. I would show it off if it was mine. Chu had to be honest about his friends and himself, when it was flattering and when it wasn't, and ended his show generously. Baxter said nothing, and he didn't laugh. He just guided a knuckle along the edge of his swoopy bangs. The strands curved with the motion, then slipped right back into their normal resting spots. His smirk didn't drop out of place either. With so much not being different, it was easy to tell that his cheeks turned pinker. Chu had sort of made fun of Baxter, even if it was a joke. If Baxter was gonna blush, you would have thought he was embarrassed because of the teasing. But no matter how you looked at it, nothing about the older kid's expression was shy or uncomfortable. He was as calm as ever, maybe even a little happier than before it happened. Anyway, Baxter's introduction was over. Chu had decided it. Now that everyone is here, I've got something very important to say. Alright? Though he said everyone, Chu's expression was squarely on you and Tamrak. There was a pause for dramatic effect as Chu smiled knowingly. Snow and Tamrak, hereby invite you to join our club. I knew he would react like that. What? What? Darren shouted out like Chu had announced he was getting married next week at 10 years old. Not so loud, please. That gentle scolding was made more styling than Darren's yelp. You had forgotten Mrs. Murray was still at her desk. She was so quiet and much like a teacher. She fit as naturally in a classroom as the whiteboard and globe. Things that were there and should be there, but you didn't think about. Well, you got a reminder Baxter had never even known. Oh, hello, Mrs. Murray. Nice to see you, Baxter. Darren zipped up his lips. He had to settle for silently pinching his brows and pouting. Yeah, I know. You don't like new people. I know you don't like new people, but we're here to stay, you goddamn negative Nancy. Not. Hold on. Can I do this? Wait, no. How do I, let me copy this. Copy. Duplicate. This. Hold on. I wish I had a soundboard, but anyway. Alright. Enough of that. Oh, also, I think it would be fun to know where I'm placing it before. One. There you go. Alright. Chu, who was definitely the leader of the pack, wasn't gonna let his word on this decision be questioned. He folded his arms in his approval. First his mom, then his friend. Darren wasn't having the best moment. Chu didn't stay firm for long, though. Instead, he thought of his club and smiled. Me, Baxter, and Darren are a group. We go all around having fun. We're practically famous in this town. Yeah, me, you, and Baxter do. He's like, no, it's me, you, and Baxter. Not me, you, Baxter, Tamara, and Snow. What the fuck is wrong with you? I hate you, Chew, whatever. Autumn. Wait, he says Autumn, but we say Chew. Alright, whatever. Quietly, firmly, and not yelling, Darren pointed out the members again, as if it meant something. Snow is one thing, but... Come on, you bitch! Fucking asshole. Darren's glance flicked to Tamarag for a single second. She's a... Wow. Wow. A girl. So it did mean something to him. After this whole time, with Darren acting so weird with Tamarag, you heard why. He was a boy who didn't play with girls. Man, you're an asshole. It's a boys' club. Oh my god. Oh my god. I honestly, I think as a kid, like, that's the thing, like, we kind of like, oh, you know, boys versus the girls. Honestly, now I'm just like, this is stupid. This is stupid. Darren's gestured to the semicircle of kids to bring attention to the boyness of the collection. How can we be a boys' club if we're not all boys? He whined in a whisper. Even if you and Tamrock and Baxter were there, Darren was trying to keep the conversation between him and Chu alone. Unfortunately, it was Chu he was talking to, and Chu made efforts to include the two of you. He freely giggled at the problem he'd been presenting. Darren. Your mom's a teacher, and guess what? Chu gave a lidded look over his shoulder towards his possible new roommates. His dad is also a teacher, at a different school. With a slow shake of his head, Chu smugly chided his friend. And you don't even know problem solving. So listen, I'm a boy, and it's my club. So that means it's a boy club. What's the issue with that? It's a boys club, not a boy club. What's the issue with that? He didn't get an answer, though Chu didn't expect it. Darren could only gawk as if he witnessed a magic trick. Chu had taken a black card from Darren into his fingerless gloved hand when he revealed it again. It had formed into a red king. I wondered if Chu was a sorcerer all along, and when he said you were one to cover for himself, he had a way with his words and with people. You and Tom Rock being new there wasn't what gave Chu an advantage. He was like that no matter what. Chu chuckled, a pleased audience member of the event. And then he shrugged with his hands in his pocket. I don't mind if they tag along, as long as they can keep up. Great! Baxter's agreement was given directly, and Chu took advantage of Darren's acceptance of his idea was a sure thing, even if he hadn't exactly gone there yet. He expected you and Tamrak to see it too, and put his choice in your hands. That was the only question. So, what do you think? No thanks, I don't wanna. What? What? For all of Chu's feats of conversation wizardry, it was equally amazing how simply Tamarad could defeat them by simply not taking an interest in saying so. Alright. That was actually the second time Chu had invited her to play with him. And his friends. Maybe yesterday she had said maybe, today she said no. Darren suddenly frowned more. He never wanted her, but was offended she didn't want him to. So you being a dick and being surprised that they don't want to join the group with the dick. Baxter only smirked harder. Yeah, he already had friends. Being turned away by a stranger didn't make a difference. Chu was disappointed by Tamrak not considering it and by his friends' unwelcoming attitudes. No one seemed to care like he did. Even when he tried his best to get everyone to get along, his expression was unhappy, enough for Tamrak to realize with shock the impact she had. Thanks for reminding me. I like you, Chu. I'm not sure if I like those other kids. Two bewildering snorts and one laugh followed that attempt at comfort. Baxter was the one who laughed. Wow, Chu, she turned you down so fast. It's okay, Chu, I'll join you. I think that's nice. Why would anyone join? It's a jerk. I'm saying that. Snow has a point, Darren. I'm sorry he said that. Darren's gaze fell guiltily, and he didn't finish what he was gonna say. Hold on, let me save. I'm not sure if I want to join or don't want to. Yeah, why wouldn't anyone join? Darren is a dick. Darren's gaze fell guiltily, and he didn't finish what he was gonna say. He may not have wanted Tamrak to join, but Chu did. Being the reason it didn't work out was the unintended betrayal of his friendship. Darren does not know how to talk to girls, or how to act around them. Yeah, and like, even if I'm a boy, I'm like, that's weird. Like, not likable at all. I think the only ladies he can say 10 words to are his mom and Tamrak's granny. Chu. Chu tossed his hands up completely unapologetically. He thought of the phrase you heard your mommy use, don't shoot the messenger. I don't know. That's why I noticed, but it doesn't matter anyway. You can't live your life like this. You're a big kid, Darren. If Tamrak looks up to you because you're much older and wiser, are you not even going to be able to say hi to her? Said hi, didn't I? You said hi to Snow, not to Tamrak. She greeted you, but she was too close. I know. But how about you say hello right now? It's not too late. Yeah. We're just bullying. We're just bullying him. I like that we're bullying, Darren. I think that's funny and I like it a lot. Tamrak was instantly in for that idea. She glanced upwards into Darren's eyes, grinning expectantly, and swishing her shoulders side to side. Say hi! It was normal to tell if she didn't realize she was giving Darren a hard time, that it was more to him than a normal hello, or if that was the whole plan. But either way, Darren could do nothing except stare hard at Tamrak's smooth jig. Shoot, this is embarrassing. Where the fuck did Baxter go? The fuck did you go? Where the fuck did you go? Where the fuck did he go? He just disappeared. Oh wait, Chu, this is embarrassing. Yeah, it is for you. You can't treat girls like that because they're girls. Darren groaned through clenched teeth. Chew, Darren, and Tamrak. Not one of them were budging. Until a low voice came from the area around Darren. It wasn't actually him, it was behind him.
Ooh. Hello, I think your scarf is so nice, Tamrak. Also, those are really great shoes.
What? Darren couldn't stay quiet for long. His mom had given up on reminding him.
I hope you like my earmuffs too.
Not Darren. No, I should say totally Darren. Darren spun around in a flurry, but the perpetrator had already breezed back to Chew's other side. That's where Baxter went. Baxter stood there, self-satisfied and silent, like he had been the whole conversation. He may not have seen it with his old eyes, but Darren knew it was Baxter. He had a pretty distinct voice. Wait, why am I doing Chew's voice for Baxter? I don't know. And it wasn't as if anyone else could have done it. I don't know, I don't care. It was a pleasing answer to Tamrak's ears. No matter who said it, she giggled as she toyed with her nice scarf. Do you really think that, Darren? The real Darren turned away uncomfortable with a face pinker than the accessory in question. It's not funny, leave Darren alone. Do you really like my shoes? Hey, you really like my shoes too, right? You teased. Baxter, you're hilarious. The main part of his face that you could see still were his eyes, which had gone huge and gone from defiant to shy. I didn't say that. So it's not true? Oh, I didn't say that either, you guy. Chew is just like, guys, stop doing that to Darren. Stop making him embarrassed. It's like, come on. He doesn't think my shoes are cool. We're just bullying Darren. We're just bullying him. I like that. Chew had lost the whole of the conversation. He viewed it from the outside, the same as if he might have done his watching toddlers tumble around the playground. No, I don't invite just anyone to the group. It was a reminder meant for Darren. He sent an explanation, you're in Tamrak's way next. Before it was me and Darren since we were babies, and then a couple years ago there was Baxter. It's only been the three of us since then until right now. It has been, so why do they have to be part of the club? It's good you asked. Snow broke into my backyard, accidentally, because he was on a crazy investigation about a paper airplane. And then he got here a day ago. He's already looking out for me. Normally, I'm the one doing that. Tamrak was the one who made the paper airplane for the stranger, because it would be fun. What's not to like about that? Lastly, the three of us are neighbors. It's gotta count for something. Even if it doesn't, what were you thinking we'd do? Run away from them when me, you, and Baxter are in the cul-de-sac? Trying to make Tamrak and Snow leave their own street? No, we should be friends and hang out together. It makes no sense to not let them join the club. Chew's speech roused Tamrak. Her fists were clenched, and her expression was full of vigor, but you were sure she wasn't inspired to join Chew's club. It strengthened your bond as neighbors and only made her flimsy connection to Darren and Baxter more obvious. Darren wordlessly put extra space between him and the shaky girl. Baxter smiled at Chew, supporting his friend while being totally indifferent to the results of the effort. Chew's description of why he thought he should be a member. Yeah, like, because like what I'm planning for the future, because it's not all finished, is blah, 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 is doing Chu's route first, and then Tomrock's route first, second. That's what I have planned for the future. Anyway. Made you smile, made you smirk, left you confused, made your cheeks hot from embarrassment, made your cheeks hot and your heart beat faster, got a thumbs up, made you consider accepting the invitation. He was nice to you, and Chu was right. Even if Darren and Baxter were gonna come to the neighborhood where you lived a lot, it'd be nice if they didn't try to avoid you. Chu got a sense of his audience mixed reactions. Instead of a whole full house roaring with applause, it was more like seeing a mostly empty theater with one person clapping in the back row. He worked with it. Well, they haven't been here for long, and I know them better than you guys know them. And that goes the same for Snow and Tamrock. They know me better than either of you. It's different for me, like all four of you. People can join later, and neither of you have to be an official member to do stuff with us. I'm just letting you know what's up. A lot of things bothered Darren, and he showed it. Baxter so far took everything like it was nothing. Chu went up and he went down, but always tried to get back up by the end. That was the boys' club. Chu was still Chu, and Darren wasn't very nice. So I don't know, kind of mysterious, cool, maybe? I don't know. It was nice learning about the whole club thing, even if you didn't want to be a member of it. The tap-tap sound marked the end of the conversation. Made you think of a hammer hitting a podium in a very important official gatherings. But it was actually Mrs. Murray as she straightened papers against her desktop. Her teacher placed them down in a neat pile as she rose to her feet. It's time to go, everyone. I'm leaving. And I can't let you stay here alone. Am I giving anyone here a ride? Her gaze was squarely on Chu and Baxter with that question. Or would you like me to call your families? It was you and Tamrock who got that look with that one. The first kid was ready with an answer was Tamrock. She yelled out with no hesitation. I'm okay. Following after Tamrock, though definitely not talking to her, piped Darren. He and his friends already had plans, but he sheepishly looked to his mom for permission to go through with it. Joe and Baxter can come with us, can't they? Right off, she nodded and her son smiled, relaxed. Mrs. Murray held up one finger and added a note before anyone got ahead of themselves. Yeah, they can't stay all night. I need to take both of them home before dinner. Alright. Thank you for letting us visit. Yeah, thanks. What about you, Snow? My mom is coming to get me. I look forward to seeing her. Snow, come to my house. Tamrock pumped her arms like the blue carpet was water underfoot, and she needed to row through the indoor pool. Honestly, I wonder, let me actually try something. And then we'll end stream. I have an idea. I just want to see If it does anything. Load. Don't know why it's taking so long. I hope to God it doesn't crash. Yes. Yes. It's not responding now. Will it work? Alright. Sounds stupid to me. Wow, Chew, she turned you down so fast. It's okay, Chew, I'll join your club. I think that's nice. Hey, Snow. I want to see if she joins. She smile grew wider as Baxter shrunk to a friendlier size. Even Tamarack seemed to second guess her answer now that you were going to be in the fold. That's one new member. And it's alright if you don't want to join Tamarack, because you'll probably regret it for the rest of your life if you don't. It's the closest club there is. And Tamarack, don't listen to Darren. I'm sorry he said that. About you being a girl in a group and that being bad. Yeah, you being a dick. You being a dick. And you get your consequences for that. I want to see if she joins after I save that. Wait, did it? Did she join? Did she join? She said yes. No, I don't think she did say she'll join. But I would love that if she joined. But like my shoes too, right? And she was like, come on, stop messing with him. It's like, come on. It's funny. It's funny. Oh. Okay, let me go back to where we were. Tamarack can join later. And you don't have to be an official member to do stuff with us. I'm just letting you know what's up. Alright, Darren wasn't very nice. Also, mysterious, kinda cool. Alright, let me go. Tap, tap, blah, blah, blah. Let's go back to where we were. I can wait for your mommy too, then we can go. And you can meet Omi and Oppa when we get there. Be cool. Yeah. Alright. Well, how about we finish packing now? Yeah, we can do that. On it! Teacher's suggestion, gathering outdoor clothes, checking inside, under desk, and looking through bags to see if the most important possessions were still there, was all done. Not a single glove would be missing, or one pencil out of place if Mrs. Murray could help it. During the final sweep of the room, there was an eager knock at the door. Okay, so this is our mom. Okay, we're gonna save and do this later. Maybe after I do some stuff. And I'll come back and stream some more. there's a, like, that's the thing with, like, Our Life games. The Our Life series, I guess, and I've noticed, is it's long. It is long. The second most longest, like, game thing I've played is, Criminally Yours. That was the second, that I can think of. Anyway, I'll be coming right back. So I'll see you later.